Tonight's date is April 12th, 2015. First thing I want to show is a lot of new videos that were pushed onto the site today and just some new content in general. First of all, you go to the video archive and go to the Bulls vs. Bears. I have provided my most up-to-date market outlook on the S&P 500 here, posted it today. You can see Bulls vs. Bears for April 12th. I am wearing the Bulls jersey for reasons that I explain in that video, so if you're interested in that, go and check that out. New category added for video charts. I did a bunch of short videos today, 3 to 5 minutes long, with a wide variety of stocks on some of the ones we follow, and then some dollar stocks that I know have been in play. You know, a name like Twitter, which we usually talk about Sunday nights. I just posted a video on it, so you can watch it there. PSTR, a penny stock, not a penny stock, a small cap stock in the $5 range that's been very hot this week. GE had a big time move on Friday to the upside, new multiple year highs. Netflix has earnings this week, so that's one that'll be in focus. Apple, of course, the iWatch. GoPro looking like it bottomed out. VLTC, another hot small cap stock, sub 10, that's been very liquid and very volatile over the last week, so check those out. Again, that's under the video charts section in the video archive. Then also this week we have a contest. Stock contest. We'll be paying out $150 to whoever comes in first place. The goal of the contest will be to post the largest average percentage gain on your winning trades. We are only going to look at your winning trades. You need to have a minimum of 5 winning trades to qualify, and if you meet that minimum requirement of 5 winning trades, we'll group your trades all together, average out the returns, and see what was your average percentage gain. And if you end up with the highest one, then you will win $150 cash. There are some other rules and stipulations that you can read here. Our winner from 2 weeks ago was Syat in the chat, SYATT. So congratulate him if you see him. It was a short week the last time, though, so hopefully with a full week more people will have more trades. Again, it doesn't matter if you only have 5 winners and 15 losers, you still qualify for the contest. We don't care about your losing trades. We'll only be taking your winning trades into account. Okay, so let me get that back up here. So what I wanted to start off by doing was reviewing some level 2 action from April 2nd. I was trading Tesla. I'm going to show you one bad trade, one good trade, just to kind of point out the differences between them. So right now you are looking at footage of April 2nd, so a couple of Thursdays ago, because the market was closed on that Friday. Let me know if anybody has any troubles seeing this. So Tesla at the time was around 190. It had been gapping up 1.5%. It's 9:28 and 41 seconds, so about a minute and 20 seconds to go before the open on this day. Previous close had been 187, so the stock was gapping up into this 90 to 91 range. And what I was thinking coming into the day, that hey, if Tesla is struggling to hold 190 and stalls between 90 and 91, she makes for a short trade. So that was kind of my thought process when I saw this gap. Tesla had been downtrending. Okay, we're getting a gap up. Now this is a good short. I can target a move or a gap fill back towards 88s, 87s, and look for some good returns. So I'm just going to click play and talk through what I'm seeing, or what I was seeing on the level 2. So always good to review film. If you guys can, I encourage you to film your own trades and watch those back. So you can see it's right around that 190. I love trades that allow me to enter around round levels. Anything that ends in a 00 is a round level. Or sorry, the third digit is a 0 rather. So 190, 200, 210, 210. It's at a round level right now, going into tomorrow. But anyway, so here we are, 20 seconds ahead of the bell. Again, this is Thursday, April 2nd. Tesla gapping up 1.5%. I see it testing 190s, and I'm thinking in my head this is a good short trade. If it stalls out on 190, you're going to see me looking at these 192.50 strike puts upon the stock opening up. So you open up and you get a few bidders above 190. You get a nice stack here. And what I'm watching for is I want to see what that first move is. You know, is it up towards 191 or down below 190? Right now you're still holding these 90 bids. Haven't been able to whack out the 190 bid, at least not yet. So haven't entered yet, but I do have an order ready on those puts. Now you start taking out some asks. You're making a spike up, so this is looking pretty good to the upside. You're challenging 191. Doesn't really look like it's triggering a short trade in my view. Looking at this, you're getting good bid stacking. Nice stack, 190.70. Okay, so to me this doesn't look like a stall out at 191. But for whatever reason, you're going to see me here on these 92.50s. I'm going to start trying to get into these. Now, I guess what I'm doing is I'm trading versus 191. You know, I see that, okay, it's gone up $1, but now I can kind of trade it versus 191. So that's what I think I'm thinking in my head at this time. But just reviewing it, you know, the stock never really makes a break lower. Let's see if it can make a break lower here and start pressuring that 90.50, get back down on 90. But you can see even before that's happened, I'm just pausing it, I've already placed a bid at 253 and 243 trying to get in. Don't really understand my reasoning for placing bids there. Again, maybe I'm trading it versus 191, but on expiration day, I'm not very happy seeing this kind of guess. You know, this just looks like a guess to me. Hey, I'm guessing that it might stall on 191s and come back down to 190, but I haven't actually seen evidence that it's going to come back down to 190. So not a big fan of this trade. And I do take the position. You can see I'm in at 260. And again, you're still right up here at 191. So, you know, like I've said, don't really understand why I'm taking this entry. You're getting bids up here. The one thing I do like, since I didn't like the entry, I like that I don't mess around. I just take a loss pretty quickly. You can see I'm down ticking my order, getting ready to exit if it continues to push through these 191s as it is doing. You've got a good stack above 191. Basically the same thing you had going on at 190 is now going on here at 191, and you're getting extension. This push right here, I'm going to stop out. You'll see it show up in my closed P&L up here. Right now it's an open loss. It'll turn into a closed loss. But just the whole time, you know, level 2 stayed strong and, you know, kept on going to the upside. Just an example of kind of a forced trade, wanting Tesla to go down just because it, you know, kind of thinking in my head, hey, it's gapping up, so it has to fill the gap a little bit. No, you know, it doesn't have to do anything. It has to do whatever the market wants it to do, and you know, the market was showing me off the open. It was holding 190. It pushed up towards 191. I still found an excuse to take a low-level entry, and now here I am about to pay the price for it in the form of a 23% loss with this push. So, and you can see, did exit, closed P&L, shifted to 60. So, you know, like I said, didn't like the trade, didn't like the entry. I do like, though, that I admitted that, hey, that was bad entry, kind of what are you doing, and got myself out of the position, even if it was bad. Because when you put yourself in a bad spot, remember, you have a choice. You can either put yourself in a worser spot by continuing to stay in a bad spot, or you can put yourself in a good spot by getting out of that bad spot. So as annoyed as I was watching the film, thinking to myself, Kevin, what are you doing, man? There's nothing here. I was happy to see that I moved on, within 1 to 2 minutes, and just took my little lump and kept it moving. And by the end of this day, I actually ended up green on the day. All right, so that was the example of a bad trade. I'm going to show what I felt like was a good one here, and just some stark contrasts in the level 2 activity and my approach overall. So setting this up, this is just the other day on Friday. Netflix had a monster gap to the upside, going from 440s up to 450, and you can see on this chart kind of had been struggling with this 450 level, but it just made a spike above 450, and I was watching it. So this is, I've got a couple screens here. This is my main level 2 screen that I have in front of me that you guys are seeing, but then there's this screen over here that has my time and sales. So I was actually watching Twitter, I believe. I can rewind this just a little bit here. Okay, so yeah, I was watching Amazon just ahead of 950. I'm just going to let this play. I was watching Amazon, but on my other screen that I just showed you, I keep an eye on, my time and sales screen, I had seen Netflix. I'd seen that it kept struggling and struggling with 450, but I also noticed that it was starting now, 15, 20 minutes into the day, to continue to come back up to that 450 level. And in my head, I was thinking, okay, if this thing can get a clean hold above 450, I can probably catch, 50, 70 cent move to the upside, which on an expiration Friday is going to translate to some solid returns in the strikes. So this is when I shift to Netflix. I watch it because I see, all right, we're coming up on 49s. Let's see if it gives another go at 50. And then I believe I shift away and look at Google. Okay, yes, so now I'm looking at Google testing 545. But all the while, I'm keeping my eyes on Netflix, on time and sales. You're going to see me work my way back to it here. I check up on Twitter. But what I like about this is I'm kind of surveying the field. At this point in the day, if you look down here, I have a open P&L, closed P&L of 0. So I hadn't done anything to this point in the day. So I like that I'm kind of surveying the field, checking Amazon, checking Twitter, checking Google. But ultimately, I continue to come back to Netflix. And here I am. Netflix tests 450, so right away I see that test on 450, and I swap back to Netflix. So I like the focus here, kind of zeroing in on a stock when it starts to show that there's an opportunity, which is different than just watching the same stock and waiting for the opportunity, because then you might miss something somewhere else, right? Just to pause and speak on that for a moment, I was watching Tesla off the gap. You didn't see me look at any other stock. Not until after I got out of Tesla. I was so zeroed in on Tesla because of this gap up that who knows what else I missed on that particular day. Where in this example, I was aware of Netflix testing 450, but I wasn't going to waste my time, at least in my view, I wasn't going to waste my time watching Netflix print 48s and 49s, because there wasn't anything I wanted to do at 48s and 49s. I only wanted to do something at 450. So once it starts coming up to the level at which I want to do something, that's where I turn my attention to the stock. And watch this level 2 activity. You came above 450, and think about the differences between the Tesla example that I showed you. So here, I'm looking for solid holds above 450 now. 450 had been the pesky level that it couldn't stay above all morning to this point. So if you can now be holding 450, then I'm looking for a new high towards 452. Not in love with that right there. Jumped away from Netflix. Okay, come right back to it here, so that's good. I just didn't like that once the stock started to make the move I need, I kind of got distracted and looked elsewhere. But anyways, so Netflix, I'm liking this bid activity. You're holding these 47 bids 450 40s. Notice when the bids get whacked out, they keep popping back up. So here's an example. You whack out the bidders in the 450 40s. You're going to whack out a little bit more, but then you're going to see them come right back up to 450 50. It's really starting to show some fight above 450. The asks try and downtick here. There's the whacks that I said would show up here, and now you're going to see them fight back up. They try to break the 450 bids. They're unable to do it. And if she jumps off of 450 here, I should be looking at an order, because this is the break I was waiting on. Now I just was waiting to see a hold. So I like my observation here. I like my patience. You know, I'm not guessing at this point, whereas in the Tesla example I guessed. Here I'm not guessing that it's going to hold 450. I'm waiting for some type of evidence that it is going to hold 450. Nice stack at 450.11. Trying to regain 450.50 here. If it can do that, then that starts to show me that evidence that it is indeed going to hold that 450 mark. I like that I don't yet have an order in, but I'm ready. If I see what I need to see, I'm ready to attack. Getting some upticks here. Asks not seeming very aggressive. They're not coming down towards 450 very easily. You took those asks out. Now you got a nice bid at 450.50. I'm upticking my bid. You can see I'm got a limit price at 269. Nice bid stack going on right at 50 now. Whacked them out, so I'm still kind of waiting. I really like my patience here. Let's see what happens here. You whacked out those 40 bids again. Let's see if you can get bidders back on top of 450.50. Okay, there you go. So right here I'm thinking, well, I'm seeing this, okay, well, you whacked them out right away, but if they come back up again, she's looking ready to go. Okay, whacked them out again, so still no real certainty. Let's see how it handles this. Down ticks below 450.50. You took those asks out, though. You see that? That bidder came back into the high 40s. Whacked them out. Let's see if the bidder comes back up into the 40s and 50s. There's a bidder at 40. 48 now. Couple stacks at 40. No asks below 50. Good stack at 40. Alright, right here I should be going. Good job. That's perfect. As soon as I saw that spike come back up on the bids, I immediately placed my bid. I'm just going to rewind that. And just so you guys know, these are just my real reactions. As I'm talking here, this is just self-critique of myself, what I'm seeing. I haven't prepared, commentary for you guys for this webinar. I'm just kind of reviewing. I've watched the film in the past, yes, but, I haven't really dived into it like this. So I want you to see that 450.50 bid stack that happens. I'm going to try and pause it right when it happens, because that was the trigger that I reacted to, and when I'm seeing it right now, that was exactly when I should have reacted. Okay, right there, here it is. You see that bid stack, 450.50. You're taking out the asks. I've got an order at 270. I'm hovering over the buy to open button, so I'm ready to go and try and enter. And right now, within a second after that stack, I have taken the position at 270. You can see that displayed on my level 2. Alright, now from this point on, as soon as this fills, since it's expiration Friday, my rule on Fridays, and in general I think it's a good rule to have, is to place your ask as soon as you fill your position, because Fridays the moves can happen so quick that you just want to try and take advantage of the move as best as you can and as quickly as you can. That's my personal philosophy. So let's click play here. Right away I'm getting a jump. I'm coming up towards 451. I didn't place my ask just yet. Let's see if I get on it soon. I should. Okay, so I'm in the process now. I placed an ask at $3.30. I like that. I'm looking to sell into the new high. You're testing 451s. Let's see what the 451 action looks like. That'll tell me, should I cancel my ask and maybe try and catch more, or should I be selling right here, or should I just leave it as is? So you come up to 451. You don't blast through it right away, right? Now you got above it. No bidders above 451. So this seems like, just kind of a nonchalant break. It's not an extremely aggressive break. So I actually lowered my ask just a little bit down to 325. Now you're getting a little bit better extension. Testing 451.50. Couldn't blast through 51.50 though. I've gotten close to filling. I'm on at 325, but after that right there, now I've canceled and I'm thinking about making an adjustment. I want to just rewind that to show that again. Talk about why I canceled and thought about making an adjustment. So you get the 451 break. At this point, just pause it for a moment. At this point, I'm thinking, all right, yeah, I should fill 290 by 310. I just need a little bit more towards 452, and I should be good to fill my sell order. But what happens, and I'm going to pause it again in a moment, is you come up to 451.50 right here. All right, right here. You're making a new high. I'm thinking, okay, you're getting 50-cent extension above the previous high a day. It should be all good to go. I should have the green light. We should move up towards 452. But then you're going to notice that the asks come back below 451.50 pretty much right away. So that right there, okay? They got above 51.50, but now they're right back down just 2 seconds later. When that happens, I'm kind of like, I just got excited. I just felt like, okay, now we're going towards 452. But within a few seconds, it doesn't look as good, right? And that's where on Fridays, I think people really go wrong, because they feel differently about the stock and the stock's price action. And I know this because I know how I used to react to these feelings that I had. The feeling I got when I just saw that is, maybe I should change something here. So what do? I cancel my order and I get ready to change something here. My button's over the cancel button. You can see I have canceled the order. It's not in at the moment, and I'm thinking about an adjustment. I'm at least on my toes. You took out the 451.50s, so I'm like, okay, well, stay tight with this. All right, now it should be good. So I placed my sell back at the original 325 as you're testing above that 451.50 level, because remember, it was kind of pesky. It looked kind of weird to me, came right back down right away, so I am going to try and sell here, which I like. No sell right away, so I make an adjustment, put my sell order in at $3.15. I end up filling at 321. You can see it showing up in my closed P&L. And if I just let this play a little bit more, I don't know if I stay on Netflix's screen or not, but she does end up coming back below 451.50 here, and it's kind of the same pattern of, hey, it looked really good, but then all of a sudden the asks downtick and it doesn't look as good and kind of comes back down towards 450. So, moral of the story, number one, I waited for the entry to really show me that it was secure. I didn't guess, okay, when it comes to taking the position. Number two, when the upside action started getting a little questionable to me, even if it was only a couple seconds worth of questionable action, I didn't just wait and see. Again, I didn't guess what was going to happen. I got proactive, and I made an adjustment and got out of my position. And as you can see, even with Netflix only back down, 40 cents from where I sold, my options have gone from $2.78 to $3, and that's just a spread I don't want to deal with. And when you get stuck in these situations where you could have got out, but now the spread's going against you, it just messes with your whole psyche. It messes with your whole approach, and that's how bad things start to happen. So put your sell order in as soon as you buy, especially on Fridays if you're trading the near dated expiring option, and then make adjustments as needed. And when you get those little feelings in your gut, in your heart or head, whatever, wherever you get those feelings, maybe it's in your big toe on your left foot, you all know what I'm talking about. Be considerate of those feelings. Bad things happen because people ignore their feelings, okay? They ignore what they think about situations, and they think, oh, I shouldn't listen to myself, because they remember one instance in the past where they got out too soon or something like that. Screw all that. Do you, do your thing. That's the only way you're really going to truly learn when to listen to yourself and not. All right, so those were the two trades I wanted to show you guys. That was from April 10th. Netflix, you just looked at that. And then the Tesla was from April 2nd, last Thursday before Good Friday. I only have a couple stock outlooks to go over because, again, for those of you just joining, I posted a ton of video charts today, so a lot of the stocks that I would usually cover here tonight I just made videos for today, so if you want to check up on those, just go to the video charts section in the video archive and you will find everything you need there. A couple of the names that I do want to talk about, though, is Tesla and Amazon. So first, starting out with Tesla. Tesla has gotten very interesting to me because it went from, in sports, the expression is going from worst to first. When you finish with the worst record in the league last year and then you win the Super Bowl the next year. I'm not saying that's what's happened with Tesla, because I don't think she's in first, metaphorically speaking, but I certainly don't think she's worse. In worst place anymore, in last place. Alright, so if you're looking at this, I'm showing this daily chart. This is as of April 1st. So the stock was coming below 190, starting to break down or get commitment towards that 185 support level, had been respecting this downtrend off the all-time high numerous times, and just looked like a pretty clean short. And that was that. I mean, as long as you stayed below 190 to 200, Tesla was going to look like she is setting up for lower prices overall. Well, what happened? We got a big time move. All right, so now you look at it and you see this huge gap when you went from 190 to 197, and that day closed at 203. It was like a 7 or 8% rally on the day. No, I'm sorry, it was much more than that. Well, maybe not. I don't know. I'm not a math major. Anyways, closed above 200, which was good, because all the last few weeks I have felt that, hey, as long as Tesla's below 200, she's got vulnerability on the short side. Well, now you're not below $200. You're above 200. Even more importantly to me, you're starting to spend time above this downtrend line. And this is the downtrend line from the all-time high. You may have your downtrend line drawn a little bit differently than mine, so maybe your chart, we're not yet above the downtrend line, but regardless of where it's drawn, we've got to at least be testing it on yours. But I'm going off of mine, and I like that we've gotten some extension, and we're now testing 210, which is our 5% extension mark above $200. So on Tesla now, as long as you stay above $200, Tesla starts to look attractive. On the, a week and a half ago, as long as she stayed below $200, the short trade looks pretty good. Well, now that's flipped itself over, and as long as you stay above $200, the long trade looks pretty solid, and you look like you have a pretty good base intact. So, no longer short biased on Tesla. Just wanted to make that clear. Potentially long biased if we now stay above $200. As far as upside goes, your next resistances are going to be between this 220 and 230 range, but if you stay above 200, that is where I think Tesla's going, into that 220 to 230, and then above that she'd really open up for more highs towards 250. Now if you lose 200 again, all eyes will be on this gap from 190 and then on down into that 180 range. The most recent 52-week low is around 181s, I believe. So to me, intermediate term, watch 190 to 210. which range does Tesla break out of first? She's above 210 slightly right now. Can she stay up here on 210s? If so, I like the upside trade. If it can't, I don't necessarily like the downside trade. I like a little channel downside, but I don't like downside until she gets back below 200, and even better would be back below 190. One comment in the immediate term for Tesla. You are up 6 days in a row. If you have too much time on your hands and went back and looked at the previous times Tesla has been up 6 days in a row, you will see that the returns are not that good in the immediate days that follow. You don't have a ton of downside, but it just doesn't really go anywhere, so Tesla might be a good name to sell some call premium on come tomorrow, but we'll see. Okay, lastly, I want to look at Amazon, because Amazon to me is my favorite stock in my list right now personally. Not necessarily because I think it looks the best, just favorite stock. When I look at my trades, I'm having the most success trading Amazon recently, so I think I should keep on trying to do that. And what I like here is you've got a stock that had a big gap up off earnings way back in January, late January, early February. You continued higher. Then you went through a more or less 2-month consolidation between 365 and 385. But you're coming up towards the top end of that consolidation. You look really fresh on Amazon. It doesn't look overbought or anything like that. There's no weird volume that you have to get through up here in my view. And Amazon just looks pretty doggone good in my eyes, and I like the way it's been trading. So what I want to see now is I want to stay above the top end of the most recent 3-week highs. The top end of those highs is between 375 and 380, where I just drew that pink line. So best case is staying above 380. If you stay above 380 on Amazon, I think you have really nice upside towards $400. We've got earnings in a couple weeks, so that will obviously impact things, but until then I'll be watching the 380 mark. Below 380 she falls back into this channel support range and could do some pulling back, but you know, I'm bullish on Amazon long term, intermediate term, as long as you are above the support that you've held for the last 2 months, since February basically, in that 365-ish area. I like Amazon. Alright guys, that's all I had on my end this evening. Again, posted a lot of content on the site, so if there's more insight that you want, you'll have no trouble finding it there. Any questions on anything, level 2 related or stock specific, now's the time to ask. Alright, not seeing, oh, we got one here maybe? Nope. Okie dokie. Gail, I know I gotta get back to your email. I saw some of your questions. Sorry I was out of town. Okay guys, thank you for showing up and joining me this evening. Let's have a good week. Remember, this is stock contest week. Do your best, get those 5 winning trades. You can win $150. So let's get the day started, get the week started right tomorrow. Have a good rest of your night. I'll be around in the chat room if you need me. Thanks, guys.